So next, going to be running over cover four quarters. Last one was max, or excuse me, cover four palm. So quarters here. Of course, you want to make sure we have zone coverage on max. So cover four quarters. So when it comes to quarters, it's pretty similar to palms outside of a couple of things. I will say these guys are MOD, man on demand. So basically, the corners on the outside, they have number one vertical, pretty much no matter what. So they aren't looking at number two at all. There's no swapping of responsibilities there. So if 84 here goes vertical, then Russell Douglas will play man with him. Similarly, if number two goes vertical, that's for these two safeties to sort out. So Rasheed Rice in the slot on the left, and then Travis Kelce in the slot on the right. Those are our number two receivers. If Rice goes vertical, that's Hyde's responsibility. If Kelce goes vertical, that's Ian Rapp's responsibility. So vertical is pretty much anything past 7 yards. So if they pretty much do anything past that 7, 8 yard mark, that's considered vertical by the coding. So they will man up. These guys underneath, pretty much their job is to relate to number two underneath. So if Rasheed Rice is to run underneath, Poyer should carry him inside to Milano. If these two cross, then once again they have to relate to the new number two. So let's say Rasheed Rice and Travis Kelce cross. Since Kelce would be the new number two here, running across the middle, then that would be Poyer's man, and then Dodson would be here. And then this guy, the Mike linebacker, he relates to number three. So number three oftentimes changes. So since he's to the left side of the formation, we tend to expect him to run a route to the left. So if two and three swap, then Milano takes the new three. So first, let's run over verticals. As you see, we get verticals, and we get man everywhere across the board. And then Milano kind of just has nothing to do. But if we were to do something like this, I'm going to spy everyone. If we were to do something like this, send McKinnon out to the flat, and then send Rasheed Rice underneath, we'll watch how Milano takes Rice, and then McKinnon will be taken by that apex defender in Jordan Poyer, because that's the new number two. So let's watch, and boom, just like we expected. Throw that away. And then one more time, we'll show the same type of thing, where if these two do a mesh concept, we have an answer for that. So watch here. He takes him. Milano goes to the left because that's the new number three. And then Poyer takes, or the right apex takes Y, the new number two. Start the snap. This is number three. At this point, when these two swap here, this is now number two. So number from the outside in. 1, 2, 3. And then he swaps again. So then we have 1, 2, 3. And that's taken by the Mike linebacker, who we said relates to number three. So that's pretty much all you have to know when it comes to quarters versus 2x2. When it comes to quarters versus 3x1, the defense does what's called a poach or a solo check. So the solo check is basically saying, hey, to this guy over here, you're on your own. It's man to man on this side. It's basically saying to these two guys, you two are solo. So that's basically what poach is versus 3x1. So that basically means this guy has number three vertical. So it looks something like this, if you can envision it. So I'm going to reset it. And then once again, we just have four verticals. And then I'm going to spy everyone on the line here, so you can see it play out. And then we instantly see how he runs over and has the new number 3, or has number 3. So this can definitely throw your opponent off if they're running a lot of crossers. One thing I will say, if they are mixing in corner routes, this is kind of a problem because I'll show you here. Since this corner route is technically a vertical route, he has to be taken by that weak side safety. So show that here. So he has to relay here, and as you can see, there's plenty of space to work with over there. Poach or cover 4 quarters is a lot more similar to how they play 2x2. So if you think about it, normally this is number 1, this is number 2, and then normally this guy's number 1 and this guy's number 2. So pretty much he will still have number 2 vertical, or the number 3 in this case. But other than that, the rules are pretty much the same. We'll see here, number 1, the corner Trey White out here. He's man on demand again. So if he goes underneath, he's gonna relate, look for work, and then he'll pass him inside to Poacher. So yeah, let's just play it out. We'll see how that works. We get underneath. We get an underneath route from number 1. So Trey White, he looks for work, and as you can see, he covers that corner route perfectly. That allows Poacher to drop off, look for work underneath. Since this guy is our Mike linebacker in this case scenario, or this scenario, he has number 3. So as you can see here, if we count in the middle of the play, we have 1, 2, and this guy's number 3. So pretty much when it comes to quarters, you just want to think 1, 2, 3. If you're an underneath defender, you pretty much never have a vertical responsibility. So as long as you can identify who number 3 is or who number 2 is, running those drags, running those slants, those shallow posts, you should have a decent time running quarters and using this middle guy. I would pretty much never really recommend to use either of these safeties in this case scenario. This guy is also a solid candidate to use, especially if they're running they're blocking their halfback a lot. So that's just food for thought. That's pretty much what cover 4 quarters is. It also works the same against trips tight end type formations. So if we can imagine if Rashee Rice was a tight end, he was in line with the tackle. It's the same rules. So that's going to be it for this breakdown. Cover 4 quarters, Poach / solo check. The next ones, I kind of plan on going over the other split field coverages, so cover 6 and cover 9. Those are pretty similar. And then also diving into how they all react to compression. So overall, thanks for watching this one. We're going to jump in and keep this series going in the next one.